Hey Tim, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about your mechanics and your motion, and break it down at a couple spots we look at, and just make sure you're getting in a spot where you're nice and consistent. You're maximizing your body. You know, we're using a lot of hips, using a lot of legs, and then we're just going to watch, at your foot strike, how you're releasing the ball, and kind of go from there. All right, so we're going to go and look at your initial setup right here. All right, so right here you come and set. All right, what we look at is your initial setup, where your weight is, where that balance is. All right, as we start, a lot of how we start dictates so much about how we're going to finish. We got to make sure we're starting right. And you can see here that first little move is you're coming back out of that balance point there. All right, so you're just starting out front. All right, all you got to do is just shift that weight back over this back leg, so now you're not rocking back. All right, it's just more efficient. It's easier to kind of get that timing, and it's just we want that first movement to be forward and nothing back, no wasted movements. All right. So then as you get up to that leg lift right here, all right, you got a good spot of you're staying back. Once you do get back, you're staying back over that back leg. Your hips are coming closed pretty good, which we like to see, because now at this point we got to get the timing of our hips to start driving forward and our ball to come out of our glove. So as you see, as you're coming forward, you start to break and you start to get rolling pretty good. All right. Now it's a little tough to see because the video has your legs cut off, but we're going to say that probably right about here's your foot strike. All right. So you can get a little bit farther down the mound. All right. You can see your knees sort of over that ankle, and at this point we should see yourself, more right here, and that leg's down a little bit more, so that weight's still back in that back leg. All right. So, and you can kind of see too in this back leg, there's not a whole lot of extension forward. So just try to get up to this point here, and maybe buy yourself a little time. Try to get that knee a little bit farther back, back over that back foot, and then throw these hips forward as long and as far as you can, and as close as you can, and they're going to want to pop open on their own. All right, so you just got to get down that mound and drive through that back leg and feel the weight of that back knee sinking down towards that ground instead of out this way, which looks like it could be a little bit. So we want to have, angled down on that back knee and sort of on that inside part of the ball of our foot as we're driving down. All right. It looks like you're doing a pretty good job at staying closed, which is good to see. You have your glove hand, if you did have a glove on, down over that front foot. You got some pretty good angles, and then as you come through, what you're going to see is you're going to start pulling though with this front side. All right. So what we want to try to get to is that glove getting out over that front foot, which you're doing really well. And then instead of rotating the glove back, we want to try to just rotate that elbow down as our body and our right shoulder come forward. All right, so then at this point, you're going to see, through that release, you're still going to see that glove out here. All right, and then you're going to see yourself get a little bit more angle, but most importantly, you're going to be able to stay through that back leg. So you can see that back foot coming up off the ground before you're releasing. All right. And then what you also get into is you're going to be throwing the ball uphill a little bit and pushing it as you're throwing the ball instead of getting down on the ball with more angle initially. All right, and all that is that's just that left pull, and that's just causing everything to kind of rotate up instead of down. We want to use that mound, use that rubber to drive everything down the hill with angle on top of the ball, and not push up. All right, and to finish with all our legs. So just making sure at our release point, right, between these two frames, that back foot's still on the ground. We're creating this angle, and our head and our chest is out over our front foot. All right, that's going to pick you up. That's going to release the ball closer to the plate. It's going to jump on the hitter. It's going to get you more angle. It's going to be sharper breaking stuff. And so it's just a better spot to maximize all that body and those legs to get a little extra velocity. But you initially, once you kind of get back over that back foot, it's starting up pretty well. Now it's just a matter of staying closed, driving down the mound, and keeping that front glove out over that front foot to really help. It really doesn't do a whole lot for velocity or anything like that, just by keeping the glove out there. But what it does is it keeps your body closed, it keeps everything in line, and it keeps you from using that left side, which in turn creates more velocity because it's coming from your hips, it's coming from your right side. And so that's just something that you can work on, is just get those hips closed, drive them farther down the mound, but just get to that point where you're just driving out front, and using that mound to drive downhill. You're going to pick up some more velocity, and it's going to just be a whole lot better for you. So anyways, good luck this year. Hopefully you have a great time. Thanks for making it out to camp, and hopefully we'll see you with ABC.